Now, jumping off the footy for a moment, the greatest tennis player of my lifetime, man or woman, Serena Williams has officially bowed out at the hands of Aussie Isla Tomljanovic. She was too good for her. It was an unbelievable game. I was working on radio trying to, or supposed to be watching the races on Saturday afternoon, but I could not take my eyes off this game. The last game went for about 14 minutes. It was completely unbelievable what was happening. In the end, Aussie Isla end up winning 7-6, 6-7, 6-1. Serena, she was chasing her 24th Grand Slam title, which would have equaled Margaret Court. So in the end, she has to settle for 23, which is not bad if you don't mind. So after the match, of course, an amazing. I think Serena was in tears. With 3 or 4 points to go. No, she was definitely in tears during the interview, but I think when she realised that, well, I'm done here, she was in tears at that point, and she spoke after the game, or after the match concluded. She spoke on court about some of the greatest influences in her life, and we know about most of those people who have been in her life for a long time, and she spoke about her sister, Venus.
I wouldn't be Serena if it wasn't Venus, so thank you, Venus.
Venus was just sitting there, just stone-faced, didn't have any emotion. I'm sure she did on the inside, but didn't have any on the outside, whereas Serena was a blubbering mess. So the greatest tennis player of my lifetime, I'll make that put that opinion out there. Anyway, I'm not a huge tennis fan. You probably know more about, well, you do know more about the game than me, but she was absolutely dominant all the way through her career, and she bows out at age 40.
I remember when there was a stage where it was an article, and I remember it so vividly. It was in The Age at the time, how Venus and Serena were ruining tennis because every championship they were playing
too good
against each other. It was, their dominance as a family. I'm not sure we've seen such dominance, taking over a world sport like the Williams sisters. And it's interesting, now that Serena has retired, the player with the current most championships is Venus, who is still competing. So it just shows
loose term.
Loose term. It just shows the dominance, and I think it's appropriate when she spoke about Venus that it makes total sense to me for those that play elite sport. When you do have siblings that play as well, there's a rivalry that extends just beyond your opponents per se, outside of the four walls of your home. It no doubt it has driven those two to greater heights. I think we've seen that in the AFL this year with Josh and Nick Dacos.
Yes.
Josh has had a spectacular season, and I reckon part of that is seeing just how
Little brother
Nick has played. Absolutely. I think it contributes to it. I think we'll see that with the King boys once both are
playing for St Kilda.
fit and firing. Well, don't they wish they had both of them?
Yes. Well, what it also does, I agree with you, but what it also does is having a sibling there, they have the same, or they have an absolute understanding of the bad times as well. So they have an understanding of, you might talk to a friend. What do you mean? How could you possibly be so upset? You're making all this money and everyone loves you, but you've got an understanding for the moments where things aren't going so well either.